Well, going through our Monday into Tuesday, we could experience more of those stray showers into the area with potential good rainfall totals. We'll give you a look at that future tracker and what to expect coming up.
I'm Jacob Daniels, and I told you upgrades were coming to Flower Bluff. Now it's time for an update. Stick around to see the progress and how the impact affects you.
You're gonna need 5 napkins or even more, since the burgers we're making today are super juicy. Maybe even a bib.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Monday and welcome to Chris 6 Sunrise. Thank you so much for waking up with the Hoffmans. I'm Michelle Hoffman.
And I'm Brian Hoffman. Now it is a Monday. We got to check in on the week's forecast ahead with meteorologist Stephen Jones.
Well, hey there and happy Monday, Coastal Bend. Looking at some of our weather headlines as we're heading out there today. Keep in mind we're still expecting a few more of those spotty showers and even thunderstorms at times as we're heading into the afternoon. Going to be very low on the coverage scale, but still something to keep in mind. Could you find yourself under a quick downpour? Where we don't see as much rain though, we're still going to be seeing those daytime highs upwards of the lower 90s, upper 80s right along the coast. But as you work your way inland, even getting up to those mid 90s. And we do have a little bit of that Saharan dust pushing back overhead. Going to definitely make for some nice sunsets, but also something to keep in mind if you're a little sensitive to those air quality changes out there. For our hour-by-hour forecast, we're on the warm-up into the 80s as we head through the later morning hours, and of course as we're heading into the afternoon, expecting even more of a warm-up into those lower 90s. Wind-wise out of the southeast today, about 10 to 15 miles an hour as we're heading into the afternoon, so not overly windy here in Corpus Christi, but still definitely feeling the heat as we're heading into the afternoon. You can see over today and in towards tomorrow, those feels like temperatures still going to be chasing the century mark, getting plenty hot out there. We'll take a closer look for you coming up. Now let's take a look at some of those traffic tips before you hit the road this morning. Keep in mind that work is going to be continuing along 358 as you're working, or along SPID and 358 there and closer to Airline Road. Something we've been dealing with for a couple months, just something still to keep in mind as we're heading out there. Another thing, we could see some of those wet roads possible as we're heading out there this morning, and especially as we're heading in towards the evening commute. Still expecting some more of those stray showers as we're hitting the road. Either way, hoping you have a great, safe Monday morning commute as you're heading out there.
I'm your neighborhood news reporter, Jacob Daniels, and over 10,000 votes were cast to upgrade and alter Flower Bluff ISD. Now I'm getting an exclusive tour to check in on the progress just in time for the first day.
My exclusive Chris 6 FBISD update tour starts here at the ECC, where Flower Bluff ISD has been busy.
As part of Bond 2025 this summer, we've had a really busy summer. So the first thing you see behind me is the ECC parking lot. One thing that's happened is the traffic's backed up on Purdue really badly every year, so we took advantage of Bond 2025 funding and have added more queuing, so parents can actually be able to queue and park and get their kids into school now.
Graf told me the new lot should be ready for the first day of school. The concrete should be finished being poured on July 25th, and the rest is just striping. It's a fix district leaders say is long overdue for parents who have been previously sat and waited on Purdue Drive.
I think everybody who goes to school from pre-K on remembers the experience trying to park and get in and out of the ECC.
From there, it's on to the stadium where new lights are being put in place. Then Graf took me to the newly repaved tennis courts that he hopes people will enjoy.
Within reason, we want to turn over as much of this to the community and allow for public access as possible. So our tennis courts, every weekend they play pickleball on our tennis courts.
The upgrades aren't only for game day. Over at the primary school, the changes are right under our feet.
Every campus around the district right now has brand new floors installed, and we've painted 3 of them. We painted at the primary, the ECC, and the intermediate so far.
New paint is being rolled on, and that'll be done before the start of school. And the biggest transformation, the junior high, which looks like a mess now, but it's all part of improvements.
Major project we got going on is the junior high mechanical, electrical, and plumbing renovation. Basically, we took out all of the ceiling grids, we took out all of the AC units in each of the classrooms, we took out all the ductwork, the chilled water piping, and it's all brand new.
And for the man overseeing it all, this summer means something more than just new buildings.
It's the best part. Being able to deliver on these projects for the community, I think, is the most exciting part for all of us. Finally getting to see concrete poured behind us. You know, we've done months and months and months of planning.
This phase of the $193 million improvement is on track to be open by August 12th, the first day of school.
From concrete to classrooms, Flower Bluff ISD says this is just the beginning of what voters signed up for. Reporting from my former theater class in Flower Bluff, I'm Jacob Daniels, Chris 6 News.
Before you head to the pool or beach this summer, make sure you take a look at the color of your swimsuit. It could make the difference between being seen or disappearing underwater. According to Poolgarda, when it comes to swimwear, safety should come before style. Visibility can drop by 30 to 60% within the first 18 inches underwater, making it much harder to see someone in distress. And don't assume a bright swimsuit automatically stands out. Experts say some colors are much easier to spot underwater than others. Safe and Seat recommends choosing colors based on where you'll be swimming. Bright orange is a strong choice for lakes, rivers, and pools. Neon green stands out well in both pools and open water. Bright yellow shows up best in natural bodies of water. Hot pink is highly visible in pools, but can be harder to spot in murky water. Bright red can offer better visibility in pools than natural bodies of water, so your best bet? Go for bold patterns made with these high visibility colors. Experts recommend avoiding darker colors like blue, green, purple, black, gray, and brown. Also avoid white and pastels because they have low visibility when underwater. So before buying a swimsuit, think about where you'll use it most, whether that's a pool, lake, or open water, and ask yourself, will this color stand out in each setting? An apartment fire at the Saratoga Cove Apartments needed extra crews to get it under control.
That's right. It happened Saturday afternoon on Staples and Woldridge. The fire was upgraded to a second alarm fire, meaning more crews were called in to tackle this fire. Now, 2 upstairs apartments were damaged by this fire, while units below had some water and smoke damage. No injuries were reported. Just days after introducing a new AI feature on its platform, Meta shut it down. The new tool allowed people to pull images from public Instagram accounts and tell the chatbot to create AI photos based on that public account. But there has been widespread backlash, with groups calling the new feature a violation of privacy and likeness rights. Meta said that it had heard the feedback that the tool missed the mark, so they removed it.
A recent study shows young users face safety risks on social media despite existing online protections. It found more than half of social media child safety features are not working as advertised. Researchers created child and adult test accounts to evaluate safety features for minors and limit online adult interactions with children.
So, for example, on Snapchat, there are supposed to be restrictions that prevent adults from messaging kids who they're not connected to. But when we tried to do that, we actually couldn't find any evidence of any kind of restriction on that.
The social media companies largely dispute the report, saying their features work as intended or that the test didn't represent typical use of the platforms by kids and teens.
Protests in Houston over the weekend after a deadly ICE shooting. City leaders expressed their frustration over the lack of cooperation with federal authorities. Immigration officers say that a federal agent shot and killed 52-year-old Lorenzo Araju last Tuesday. 3 men detained during the operation have contradicted the federal agent's account of what exactly happened. Texas officials say federal authorities are not sharing key information about the case.
Do I believe the federal government is just gonna decide that all of a sudden they're gonna wake up and do the right thing? No. But that does not mean we should not demand it. We should be demanding transparency. We should be demanding information. We should be saying this needs to stop.
Harris County District Attorney's Office does say that they would ask a judge for access to the vehicle involved in the incident if federal authorities don't agree to share access to evidence. Extremely hot days can lead to mental distress.
Mandy Gaither explains how heat can harm mental health and has ways to halt high temperatures from taking a toll on your well-being.
It's no secret extreme heat puts a strain on the body, but it also burdens the brain.
When we feel hot, we are physically uncomfortable, and it makes it much more difficult to regulate emotions, feel calm, patient, and make decisions.
Psychologist Susan Alberts with Cleveland Clinic says that can make a person feel stressed, irritable, sad, depressed, and anxious.
Heat mimics anxiety. Symptoms such as sweating, racing heart, dizziness. These are common to being overheated and anxious, and your brain can mistake the two.
To halt heat from taking a hit on your mental health, Albert says to first recognize what's happening. If you're feeling irritable or your mood has changed, you may be overheated.
Cool down your body quickly by drinking some cool water or placing a washcloth on your wrist or behind your neck for 60 seconds.
Albert says regulating your body temperature can help you feel calmer. She says to drink cool water throughout the day. Don't wait until you're thirsty. You can also stay hydrated with water-rich foods like frozen grapes, popsicles, or cucumbers. And find ways to get good quality sleep even on hot nights. Take a cool shower before bed. Use fans or blackout curtains.
Anything that is going to help to cool down your bedroom is going to be a game changer for your sleep and your mood during the heat.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
As the World Cup moves closer to the finals, new research raising questions about the long-term effects of soccer on the brain. Now, researchers in London found that retired professional soccer players showed signs of possible neurological changes in midlife, including higher rates of anxiety and depression. Now, scientists say repeated hits to the head, including headers, could play a role in this, though more research is needed. Experts stress the study does not mean people should stop playing sports, but they say it highlights the importance of protecting brain health.
Watching Chris 6, a part of the Scripps News Group.
We're smack dab in the middle of summer, which means it's big burger season. Did you know that Americans eat billions of burgers every year? And while I've had my share of great ones, we recently came up with one that I think is the juiciest and tastiest burger ever. Let me show you. All we do is add some diced cheddar cheese, a bit of crumbled bacon, a couple of shakes of Worcestershire sauce, a splash of water, and a few off-the-shelf spices to some ground chuck. You want to make sure you don't use too lean of a ground beef or your burgers will end up dry. Once it's gently mixed, we shape it into patties. And here's what I like to do. Make a dimple in the center of each burger so when they cook, they don't puff up. Now we can cook these inside on a skillet or grill pan or outside on the grill like we're doing today, which gives them a nice smoky flavor. And although you'll be tempted, don't press down on them with a spatula or you'll squeeze all the juices out of them. And no matter how many other burgers you've had this year, none will be juicier or tastier than these. Just make sure you have plenty of napkins on hand, because you're going to need them. So go online and get the recipe for what we call 5 napkin burgers, so you can have the best burgers on the block. I'm Howard from the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found the juiciest way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
Well, hey there, Coastal Bend. Taking a look at some of our almanac data from yesterday, we got just a little warm out there. 94 degrees for the daytime high over from the International Airport, just 1 degree above that average for where we should be this time of year, but at least not that record 101 that we set back in 1964. Still sitting with a rainfall surplus of 3.35 inches so far for the year, and keep in mind sunset closer to that 8:28 p.m. time frame and starting to shift earlier and earlier as we head through the rest of summer. For our future tracker, as we're heading out today, just experiencing the spotty shower activity here closer to the coast this morning, and as we work into the early afternoon, that's where we start to watch that activity work its way inland. Still not going to be all of us at all times for sure. Either way, we're not seeing that rain. We are going to be on the warm up into the lower 90s for daytime highs once again. By the time we're heading into tonight, that's where we're watching off towards the northwest for a pretty strong storm system working through the heart of the watershed there, hopefully putting in some good totals out there. But either way, as it works locally into the coastal bend, that's where we expect it to start losing steam as we're heading through the overnight hours, but still just dealing with the cloud cover and that spotty shower activity as we're working here into the coastal bend. So if you do find yourself at the beach today, keep in mind could still run into one of those spotty showers out there. But overall, we're going to be on the warm-ups with the partly cloudy skies overhead up towards 87 degrees in those upper 80s for the daytime highs. Winds out of the south still similar, 10 to 15 miles an hour. High tide this morning closer to that 6 a.m. time frame, with low tide on the way as we're heading into this afternoon and evening up towards 8:49 p.m. with that water temperature, of course, into the upper 80s. For For our rain chances, like we talked about, the stray to spotty shower chance today starts to increase a little bit as we're heading in towards Wednesday morning. Still not going to be that widespread torrential downpour activity, but might see a few more of them showing up on the radar. And something else to keep in mind as we're heading through this week, expecting more of that Saharan dust arriving into the area as we're heading through today, and really throughout the work week, going to experience a couple more pulses of it working through the area. Might make for some of those nice sunsets, but also something to keep in mind if you're a little more sensitive to the changes in air quality. Here's a look at that 7-day forecast.
Senator Lindsey Graham passed away over the weekend following a trip to Ukraine.
As NBC's Alice Barr explains, tributes have been pouring in around the globe.
This morning, colleagues on both sides of the aisle are honoring the life and legacy of South Carolina Republican Senator Lindsey Graham, who built his influence on bipartisan relationships and on 30 years of experience in the halls of Congress.
He started public service because he wanted to make sure that no one felt invisible.
No better friend, no tougher adversary.
On Saturday night, emergency responders rushed to the 71-year-old's Capitol Hill home.
EMS 6 responded to Engine 7 Medic 7 with cardiac arrest.
His office saying the preliminary medical examiner's report cited a tear in the main artery from the heart due to cardiovascular disease. President Trump said he spoke to the senator the night before he died. Initially a vocal Trump skeptic, Graham became one of the president's fiercest allies and a forceful advocate for his agenda.
The friendship grew. It just grew. And he was an amazing advocate.
Senator Graham had just returned from a trip to Kyiv, where he met with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky and announced a breakthrough in White House backing for a bipartisan Russia sanctions bill.
I've never been more optimistic than I am today that we have the formula to end this war.
Also a staunch supporter of Israel, Graham was a longtime foreign policy hawk, advocating an aggressive approach to adversaries. He served in the Air Force and as a military lawyer. His death now leaving a hole in the Senate and prompting questions about who will replace him. He was running for a 5th term in South Carolina, the state now preparing instead for a snap primary, with the governor to name a temporary replacement through the end of the year. Senate Republicans are already missing the vote of Kentucky Senator Mitch McConnell, who was hospitalized nearly a month ago. After weeks of speculation, his office released a photo and statement with McConnell saying he did not suffer a heart attack or stroke, but that he fell, was briefly unconscious, and is now continuing his recovery in a rehab facility. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
You are watching Chris 6, a part of the Scripps News Group.
Well, Texas Sea Life Center will host a sea turtle release on Sunday. It's going to take place over on the island over at mile marker 216. This is by the Wyndham Corpus Christi Resort. There will be free parking over at the Wyndham parking lots. The sea turtle release, well, that's going to take place at 11 in the morning.
There are new details this morning about the death of U.S. Senator Lindsey Graham of South Carolina. I'm Ashley Glass with the headlines we're covering here at Scripps News. Graham died of complications from heart disease, according to a spokesperson for the late senator. Preliminary report from the D.C. Medical Examiner's Office shows the 71-year-old suffered an aortic tear. Voters in South Carolina first elected Graham to the Senate in 2002. He was campaigning for a 5th term this year. Meantime, Republican Senator Mitch McConnell released a statement about his health. The longtime Kentucky senator's been in the hospital for weeks, and rumors had swirled about his condition. The senator cleared the air Sunday, saying he fell at his home in D.C. and then got a mild case of pneumonia. He did not break any bones or suffer a concussion. The Senate resumes its session on Monday, and McConnell said he's not yet ready to return to vote. Oil prices are jumping amid the latest round of strikes. U.S. Central Command says the U.S. has completed its latest round of strikes and that the Strait of Hormuz is open. Tehran responded with its own attacks against Gulf countries that house U.S. military facilities, and it has declared the strait is closed.
Hey, good Monday morning, everyone. You are watching Chris 6 Sunrise, and as always, waking up with the Hoffmans today. I'm Brian Hoffman.
And I'm Michelle Hoffman.
Well, starting us off with our Lion of Utah Animal Services dog walking forecast. Today we've got Kirby on the board. He's from Aransas County and says his favorite place to go on a walk is along the beach, a pretty good spot for it. As we're heading out there for Kirby's walk this Monday, we're going to be on the warm-up, of course, as we see that sunshine coming out, backed up towards 87 degrees as we're heading in towards 10 a.m. And, of course, as we head into the afternoon, expecting those lower 90s. Wind-wise out of the south this morning, closer to 5 miles an hour, picking up towards 10 to 15 miles an hour as we're heading into the afternoon. Here's a look at our rain chances through the next 24 hours. Not dealing with a ton, but could still see some of those stray showers as we're heading through the day ahead. Thinking our best opportunity for some of that rainfall is going to be for our inland neighborhoods, especially as you work your way closer towards the Beeville area there in Live Oak and Bee counties. Either way, not going to be widespread for all of us, but still something to keep in mind as we're heading into the afternoon. Here's how it's looking currently on our 7-day forecast. Plenty of 90s, but by the time we're heading into Wednesday, a few more isolated thunder showers could work into the area, keeping us a little cooler towards 89 degrees. Now let's take a couple looks at those traffic tips before you hit the road this morning. Still keep in mind that construction along 286 between Weber and Staple Street is still going to be ongoing as we're heading out there for our Monday commutes. Also keep in mind, so could see some of those wet roadways as we're heading out there this morning, but especially as we're heading into the afternoon and towards that evening commute. That's where we're expecting a few more stray showers showing back up on the radar and could cause for some slippery roadways at times, so something to keep in mind as we're heading out there. Either way, we're hoping you have a great and safe Monday morning commute.
Good morning, I'm Stephanie Liebergen. Here's a look at what's happening today. France plans to hold a major meeting aimed at getting more support for Ukraine. The Coalition of the Willing meeting will take place in Paris. The goal is to push for peace talks and post-ceasefire security guarantees. More than 25 heads of state are expected to attend, including Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky and the NATO Secretary General. President Trump will not be in attendance, but the U.S. is expected to send a high-level delegation to represent the administration, including Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner. The Ukraine-Russia war has been going on for more than 4 years. Paris is breaking tradition for this year's Bastille Day celebrations. The iconic fireworks and drone spectacular at the Eiffel Tower will take place Monday. That's a day earlier than usual. But officials didn't want the celebration on the anniversary of a deadly truck attack in the country. Officials expect massive crowds for the 20-minute show, which follows a massive free concert. Bastille Day is France's national holiday, commemorating the 1789 storming of the Bastille prison, a pivotal event that marked the beginning of the French Revolution. If you dig the long ball, Monday is your day. Major League Baseball's Home Run Derby will take place Monday night in Philadelphia, and there are some big-name players in this year's contest, including the Phillies' two biggest power hitters, Bryce Harper and Kyle Schwarber. Schwarber is the betting favorite to win, especially since he leads all of baseball in homers this year. The Derby is expected to start at 8 o'clock Eastern. The MLB All-Star Game will take place the next day.
Before your next backyard cookout, check your grill. Conair is recalling more than 12,000 Cuisinart gas grills because the pizza oven's glass window can shatter during use. The recall affects the Cuisinart Propel Plus 4-burner 3-in-1 gas grill with pizza oven. The company says it's gotten nearly 40 reports of shattered glass and 1 reported fire. Now, luckily, no one's been hurt. The grills were sold at Lowe's, Walmart, and online through Cuisinart's website between December of last year and May of this year. Consumers are being told to stop using the grill right away and check the company's website for refund information.
Nonstop News, sponsored by Ewald Kubota.
Right now on Chris 6, after being destroyed in 2017 by Hurricane Harvey, the Rockport Aquarium is one step closer to being rebuilt. All of the details coming up.
I'm Jacob Daniels, and I told you upgrades were coming to Flower Bluff. Now it's time for an update. Stick around to see the progress and how the impact affects you.
And a street named after an NBA player. A look at the unveiling ceremony honoring the athlete.
Well, howdy and happy Monday, Coastal Bend. I'm meteorologist Stephen Jones. Starting us off with our Coastal Bend Weather Watcher of the week as we went through the Coastal Bend Weather Watchers group on Facebook. Thank you to Betty Ann Lopez for sending this one in of some of those showers by the sea. Just a good image of what we experienced pretty much the whole weekend. Had a little bit less on Sunday, but either way, we're expecting more of these stray showers as we're heading into this week. Once again, thank you, Betty Ann, for sending this one in. And if you have any good photos like this, hopefully you also submit that to our Coastal Bend Weather Watchers group. Might just find yours featured on one of our broadcasts as well. As we're heading through the future tracker on this Monday, gonna expect more of that spotty shower activity as we're heading into the later morning hours and into the early afternoon. As we work through the later afternoon with that sea breeze working inland, that's where we're expecting the shower activity to also start shifting its way further inland. As we head into tonight here locally, most of that activity dries up, but keep your eyes off towards the northwest, towards the watershed. That's where we're expecting some more of that thunderstorm activity to work its way in towards that area, but as it works its way closer to the coastal bend, starts to lose that steam thanks to that Saharan dust also in the air, some of that drier air mixing into the storms. Here's a look by tomorrow afternoon, still dealing with that stray to spotty shower activity, but overall in terms of meaningful rainfall totals, not expecting it to add up to much. Here's a look at what we could experience in terms of the potential rainfall out there. Some areas where we do see the biggest downpours could still pick upwards of 3/4 of an inch, but most of our neighborhoods going to be coming in with less than 1/10 of an inch of rain coming down. But you could see those higher totals into the watershed, so hopefully we do start to see that have an effect on the drought monitor and potentially even the lake levels as we go through the next couple of weeks. Here's a look at our rain chances as we're going through the next few days. Mainly going to be dealing with that stray to isolated shower chance as we're heading through the afternoon hours. By the time we're heading into Wednesday morning, could see a few more of those showers working into the area, but still not going to be that widespread rainfall activity. Just might give us a little bit of a break in terms of those temperatures back down towards the upper 80s for a day before we warm right back up into those lower 90s as we're heading through the rest of the week into the weekend.
I'm your neighborhood news reporter, Jacob Daniels, and over 10,000 votes were cast to upgrade and alter Flower Bluff ISD. Now I'm getting an exclusive tour to check in on the progress just in time for the first day.
My exclusive Chris 6 FBISD update tour starts here at the ECC, where Flower Bluff ISD has been busy.
As part of Bond 2025 this summer, we've had a really busy summer. So the first thing you see behind me is the ECC parking lot. One thing that's happened is the traffic's backed up on Purdue really badly every year. So we took advantage of Bond 2025 funding and have added more queuing so parents can actually be able to queue and park and get their kids into school now.
Graf told me the new lot should be ready for the first day of school. The concrete should be finished being poured on July 25th, and the rest is just striping. It's a fix district leaders say is long overdue for parents who have been previously sat and waited on Purdue Drive.
I think everybody who goes to school from pre-K on remembers the experience trying to park and get in and out of the ECC.
From there, it's on to the stadium where new lights are being put in place. Then Graf took me to the newly repaved tennis courts that he hopes people will enjoy.
Within reason, we want to turn over as much of this to the community and allow for public access as possible. So our tennis courts, every weekend they play pickleball on our tennis courts.
The upgrades aren't only for game day. Over at the primary school, the changes are right under our feet.
Every campus around the district right now has brand new floors installed, and we've painted 3 of them. We painted at the primary, the ECC, and the intermediate so far.
New paint is being rolled on, and that'll be done before the start of school. And the biggest transformation, the junior high, which looks like a mess now, but it's all part of improvements.
Major project we got going on is the junior high mechanical, electrical, and plumbing renovation. Basically, we took out all of the ceiling grids, we took out all of the AC units in each of the classrooms, we took out all the ductwork, the chilled water piping, and it's all brand new.
And for the man overseeing it all, this summer means something more than just new buildings.
It's the best part. And being able to deliver on these projects for the community, I think, is the most exciting part for all of us. Finally getting to see concrete poured behind us. You know, we've done months and months and months of planning.
This phase of the $193 million improvement is on track to be open by August 12th. the first day of school.
From concrete to classrooms, Flower Bluff ISD says this is just the beginning of what voters signed up for. Reporting from my former theater class in Flower Bluff, I'm Jacob Daniels, Chris 6 News.
Before you head to the pool or beach this summer, make sure you take a look at the color of your swimsuit. It could make the difference between being seen or disappearing underwater. According to Poolgarda, when it comes to swimwear, safety should come before style. Visibility can drop by 30 to 60% within the first 18 inches underwater, making it much harder to see someone in distress. And don't assume a bright swimsuit automatically stands out. Experts say some colors are much easier to spot underwater than others. Safe and Seat recommends choosing colors based on where you'll be swimming. Bright orange is a strong choice for lakes, rivers, and pools. Neon green stands out well in both pools and open water. Bright yellow shows up best in natural bodies of water. Hot pink is highly visible in pools, but can be harder to spot in murky water. Bright red can offer better visibility in pools than natural bodies of water, so your best bet? Go for bold patterns made with these high visibility colors. Experts recommend avoiding darker colors like blue, green, purple, black, gray, and brown. Also avoid white and pastels because they have low visibility when underwater. So before buying a swimsuit, think about where you'll use it most, whether that's a pool, lake, or open water, and ask yourself, will this color stand out in each setting?
I'm over in Rockport at the very end of the Rockport Harbor, and this empty slab used to be an aquarium, but if plans by the county and the city go the way they want it to, it could look more like this. A little history for you. The Rockport Aquarium was destroyed in 2017 during Hurricane Harvey. Luckily, they were able to evacuate all of the aquatic life beforehand, though. Many residents fondly remember what it used to look like.
It was a very popular and free exhibit, showcased local native species.
We had visited the Rockport Aquarium prior to Harvey, and it was enchanting.
And now, years later, we're one step closer to having a brand new aquarium in its place. Aransas County heading up this endeavor, but they still needed a sign-off from Rockport City Council before going out for bid on this $2.3 million project, with an expected completion date of April of next year. Now, should everything go according to plan, we're going to hear from City Council on Tuesday on whether or not they accept the county's plan. We'll be sure to keep you updated on what happens. I'm Brian Hoffman in Rockport.
So gas prices dropping across the nation. Closer to home, AAA shows that regular gas in Texas, $3.42 for diesel, $4.47. Corpus Christi, well, we're looking at $3.60. Diesel users can expect $4.51 as the average at the pump. Protests in Houston over the weekend after a deadly ICE shooting. City leaders expressed their frustration over the lack of cooperation with federal authorities. Immigration officers say that a federal agent shot and killed 52-year-old Lorenzo Araujo last Tuesday. 3 men detained during the operation have contradicted the federal agent's account of what exactly happened. Texas officials say federal authorities are not sharing key information about the case.
Do I believe the federal government is just gonna decide that all of a sudden they want to wake up and do the right thing? No. But that does not mean we should not demand it. We should be demanding transparency. We should be demanding information. We should be saying this needs to stop.
Harris County District Attorney's Office does say that they would ask a judge for access to the vehicle involved in the incident if federal authorities don't agree to share access to evidence.
A teenager connected to a deadly shooting at a California high school graduation ceremony has been arrested in Texas. The shooting left 1 person dead and 3 others wounded. Officials say the 17-year-old suspect fled to Texas days after the shooting. Fairfield police say they worked with the U.S. Marshals Service and arrested the teen at a home in the greater Dallas-Fort Worth area Friday. A motive for the shooting has not been released.
The suspect was tracked to the state of Texas, where this morning, in conjunction with the U.S. Marshals Service, a warrant was served and the suspect was taken into custody. The suspect is a 17-year-old male. We will not be releasing any additional information about the suspect at this time due to his age.
Police say the teen will remain in Texas pending extradition proceedings.
Let's say a concrete company quotes you $10,000 for a new driveway. Is that a good price or a total ripoff? It's hard to say, but there are now tools that make finding out a lot easier. Kristen Cahill needed help fixing water damage in a leaky roof.
I actually had 4 companies come out to give me estimates.
The Beeklers went shopping for quotes for a big move.
I had a quote by the end of the day, a very reasonable quote.
Whether you're hiring a contractor, plumber, mover, or painter, it's always good to know if that quote is fair.
The overcharges happen, very subtly in a lot of these quotes.
Matt McCormack created Quote Score, a free AI tool that compares your estimate with similar jobs in your area.
The more quotes that go into it, the smarter it gets.
He showed us how it works.
You have the quote on your phone, right? You could just screenshot and then throw it in there.
Then it scores the quote from red flag to exceptional deal. Other tools offer similar features like Reno Canvas, which charges a fee, and roofingcalculator.com. Or check the Better Business Bureau, which connects consumers to BBB-accredited businesses.
Getting 3 bids is a really good way to have a better understanding of what the going rate is for the work, so you can spot things that are too high or suspiciously low.
Once you find a fair price, the BBB's Josh Plano says get everything in writing: cost, materials, and start and finish dates.
If the contractor is missing some of those details or if they're not writing them out at all, that is a red flag.
Getting a fair quote can mean weeding out the bad ones.
It was like actually literally double what they told me it was going to be.
After one bad experience, the Beeklers warned the cheapest quote can often end up costing you more.
Every once in a while, you'll have a good experience, but it's just not worth the risk.
So you don't waste your money. John Mattery, Scripps News Group.
Fort Smith, Arkansas has named a streets after Oklahoma City Thunder star Jalen Williams.
As Darren Bob explains, Williams was in his hometown for the renaming ceremony.
And with that, part of North 23rd Street in Fort Smith will be known as Jalen Williams Court. The Northside High School graduate, former Razorback and NBA champion, was honored with the renaming of that section of street. The event was truly all about Williams and what he's accomplished.
Today is about character. It's about a young man who represents his family, his school, his hometown with humility. It's about someone who has never forgotten where he came from, and he continues to inspire young people simply by the way he carries himself.
Fort Smith Mayor George McGill has known the Williams family for a number of years and told the crowd the new street sign is way more than just a sign.
It will be a message. It will tell every young person who passes by, someone from Fort Smith, Arkansas, believed in a dream and worked hard and made it happen.
The first thing Jalen told the crowd was how he credits his family for his success.
Y'all made me into what I am today, and I really do appreciate y'all, and none of this would be possible without y'all, and just want to say thank y'all, and I love y'all.
Then he turned his attention to the kids who were there.
Never stop dreaming. There's no dream that you can't achieve. There's nothing that you can't do. As long as you believe that you can do it, it's always a possibility to get it done. If I can do it, if you believe it, if you can dream it, you can achieve it. Just to continue to believe, continue to achieve, and you can do anything you put your mind to. Thank y'all for being out here. I love all y'all.
The World Cup is down to the final 4 teams. France, Spain, England, and Argentina are all headed to the semifinals. That's after Argentina beat Switzerland Saturday 3-1 and England's 2-1 victory over Norway. England now faces defending champion Argentina on Wednesday. France takes on Spain Tuesday. The winners will meet in next weekend's World Cup final. The Special Olympics of Corpus Christi was honored before Sunday's Hooks game at Whataburger Field. A parade was held before the game, and one of the Olympians even got to throw out the first pitch. One participant tells Chris 6 the opportunity was exciting.
Feeling good. It's my first time, but I'm a little nervous, and I'm probably excited about it because I won.
Corpus Christi Special Olympics features programs from over 36 schools in the region. Michael Jackson and Madonna are back in the news.
That's right. David Daniel has that and more in today's Hollywood Minute.
You know what I'm after?
You want to be the biggest star in the world.
Michael hits $1 billion. The Michael Jackson biopic has crossed the $1 billion mark in global box office. It's the first biopic to reach that milestone, and according to Deadline, the first film by its studio, Lionsgate, to gross $1 billion.
We deserve it. We deserve to be who we are.
Honorary degrees for 2 Oscar-winning filmmakers. The American Film Institute is honoring writer, director, and producer Guillermo del Toro and writer and director Aaron Sorkin at the AFI Conservatory's 2026 commencement ceremony on August 7th.
One step away from your freedom, one breath away from the desolate.
Madonna is back at #1. Her new album, Confessions 2, has debuted atop the Billboard 200. It's Madonna's 10th album to lead that chart, and she's the first performer with a #1 album in this decade who's also topped the chart in 3 other decades. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Now, 6 things to know before you go.
A $35 million widening project on FM 624 begins today. Drivers will see traffic shift to a 1-lane setup with automated flaggers. In 4 years, the finished road will feature 3 lanes in each direction, along with new sidewalks.
Well, the city of Three Rivers spraying for mosquitoes this week. Spraying is going to take place on Mondays and Fridays at 6 a.m. This is part of an effort to reduce the mosquito population in that area.
Flaunt is recalling about 1,400 MagSafe battery chargers due to burn risk. Regulators say that they can overheat and catch fire. The affected products have a circular button and model number E33A.
Well, Kia has recalled more than 460,000 vehicles over the risk of fire. The affected models are 2020 to 2024 Tellurides. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration says that the front power seat motor may overheat and cause a fire.
A reminder, folks, prices are higher at the U.S. Postal Service office. The price for a Forever stamp will go up by 4 cents from 78 to 82 cents. Package shipping prices will also increase by about 6.3% on average.
Well, a new Meta AI feature was short-lived after widespread backlash. Groups called the new feature a violation of privacy and likeness rights. Meta says that the tool missed the mark, causing the removal. And those are your 6 things you need to know.
Well, looking at our Monday forecast as we're heading out there here in Corpus Christi on the warm-up, of course, into the lower 90s for daytime highs. Thinking about 92 over at the International Airport for our official daytime high, with winds out of the southeast into the afternoon closer to that 10 to 15 mile an hour mark. A couple of gusts closer to 20 miles an hour. Here's a look at the 7-day forecast. Maybe a couple degrees cooler on Wednesday thanks to a few more showers showing up on the radar. But either way, as the rain chances dry up, we're still going to be plenty warm. Definitely feeling like summer into those lower 90s. Either way, hoping you have a great Monday out there.